What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down some 5-star wide receiver versus 5-star DB one-on-one in 7-on-7 reps. So we're going to be talking about the good and the bad of these reps, why the DB wins on certain reps, and why the wide receiver can win on certain reps. So I hope this video helps you guys out. I hope it can teach you a few new things. But also, fellas, if you're a wide receiver and you want a daily training schedule for everything wide receivers should do in the gym and on the field, check out that very first link in the description below for our 8-week wide receiver on field and gym workout schedule. We give you the exact sets and reps for everything on a day-to-day basis. We include rest days and examples of each exercise and drill. So check out that very first link below if interested, fellas. Let's get started. So now, first clip here we're going to be looking at is Makai Lemon, who's a 5-star wide receiver out of California, and he is going to be going up against, I got to check his name, Corman McLean. So Corman McLean is a very, very disciplined DB. He's got that 5-star ranking for a reason, but this is a rep where the wide receiver wins, and we're going to talk about why he wins. So let's play this full speed. So he comes off and gives this kind of hesitation, skip release, crossover inside, and wins on this back shoulder rep. Now, there's some things that we could clean up here, and there are some things that are very good by the wide receiver here. So when we have an inside shade DB, right? DB's lined up inside shade. We know what's he trying to do. He's trying to protect the inside, right? He's trying to do everything possible to force me to the outside because the sideline right here, that is going to be his help. That's like the 12th defender on a field. So as a wide receiver, what we have to understand is that I have to threaten his leverage. He's inside leverage, so he's not going to want to give up the slant. So I have to threaten him with the slant. So that's exactly what Makai does right here. He comes off the line and he's attacking his leverage inside. He's closing the space with this DB. Now, like I said, he is a very patient DB. Right? So when you attack his leverage and you close the space, he's going to start to get into this kind of like inch back technique where he's staying square. He starts inching back. Now, as a wide receiver, I have to do a little bit better of a job of closing this space right here. Right? So this is why sometimes that like kind of hesitation release isn't the best thing to do. Because you see how he comes off and he gives this little hesitation walk. Imagine if he gave that walk at first, and then he sped up the tempo and actually closed the cushion with this DB. He wouldn't have as much time to react. It's the right concept, but we need to close a little bit more space. Because when he throws this crossover move right here, he does a good job of selling it. His hips and shoulders are to the inside. He's stepping and actually threatening him on the slant. But there's just too big of a gap. Because he's running a goal line fade, right? So he has to get to around here by where this camera guy is. So even if we get this DB to jump inside, he's got more space to recover. He's got a better angle than us. Now, right concept, right release, it's just that little detail of closing space can get us a little bit more of a step on him because this DB is in a good position to make a play here. Now, the reason why this was able to work is because Makai gave the quarterback plenty of space to throw him open. Sometimes there's no defense for a perfect throw and for a perfect ball. Now, this wouldn't have worked if Makai would have just ran off the ball. That's the mistake so many younger wide receivers make and why they don't really ever get to this like level of play that these guys are at. Because what they'll do is they'll see inside shade. They know they have a goal line fade. They know the quarterback's going to be giving them a ball. So they'll just take off and go run. But that's exactly what the DB wants. If you just take off and go run to the outside, he's going to get hands right into your hip and squeeze you to the sideline. Then you will have no help. It'll essentially be a double team because remember, the sideline is the extra defender on the field. So we have to threaten him inside to give my quarterback space to throw me open. Whether it's because I close distance and I could go over the top, or whether I go here, maybe he plays this thing okay, but I still have space for the QB to throw me back shoulder. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. Great job on Makai with the right release. Just maybe needs to close a little bit more space and have a faster tempo. All right, so now next clip here. This is still from Corman McLean. He's like I said, very talented DB, and this is going to be a fade route where he is lined up inside shade about 7 to 8 yards off. So Cormani does a great job being patient on this. Again, like I said, receiver does the right job on this in terms of concept, but there's some things we could clean up. So let's play at full speed. So he's running this like kind of slot fade route, does a good job of like maybe attacking him, closing the space and slowing tempo, and I feel like we have him here, but we need to get a little bit more separation from this guy. And so how we can do that is there's a couple things because I don't exactly know how this play's drawn up on paper, but from a slot fade perspective, if that's what they are running, we need to give the QB more space to throw open, right? So what he does here is he comes off. We got inside shade off man. So it's no different than when you have inside shade press. It's the same responsibility. He's just 7 to 8 yards off. He's trying to prevent the deeper inside routes like a post, like a dig. So what do you think about my release I should do if I'm running a fade? I should threaten him like I'm running a post or like I'm running a dig. So he comes off the ball. He gives a little tempo change right here. But now when he does that tempo change, he needs to threaten him more inside. Because just the tempo change, okay, I'm slowing my tempo down. DB will also be slowing his tempo down. But when I accelerate back up to the outside, so's the DB. We didn't threaten him with anything to the inside to hold him to the inside, to freeze him to the inside. So what I stopped his tempo, I want to freeze him and then leave him. Now, the other thing that this wide receiver did is when he made this move, he kind of took off like almost straight towards the sideline in a way. So when you go straight towards the sideline, that doesn't give the quarterback a lot of space to throw you open. It kind of cuts the field down, right? And you see where the sideline is. If you're running straight to the sideline, that's very, very tough for that QB. You need to give him space to fade you, especially on a slot fade. So you're kind of playing right into the DB's hand here. When he's inside shade, again, he wants to force you to the sideline. So what he could have done is after this tempo change right here, maybe taken a little bit tighter of an angle. Because when you take that tight angle, that gives the QB space to throw you open. Now, fellas, on a slot fade, you do want to take kind of a wider angle. You don't want to restack directly like you're running a fade from the X or from the Z. It's a slot fade, so you need to kind of fade with it. But the quarterback is supposed to fade you. So either the quarterback's got to throw this sooner, or we maybe need to take a tighter angle to be a more quarterback-friendly route runner, if that makes sense. So that's the biggest mistake I feel here. I feel like Cormani played this thing extremely well. He was disciplined, didn't bite on the tempo change, didn't just stop his feet. But fellas, if we're going to do that tempo change, you got to give him some kind of threat to his leverage. Let's play this thing again, full speed. Again, right idea, but let's threaten him inside and maybe not go as wide initially. Try to get a little bit skinnier so that QB has room to fade us, or maybe quarterback just needs to throw that thing flat out quicker. All right, so now we're going to be looking at this like hitch and go. Same deal. This is Cormani McClain, and this is the same wide receiver we were just looking at, Jonte Cook. Now, big thing about this route is we're going to talk about how you guys can sell a double move a little bit better. Because this is a route that was completely locked up, and I think against disciplined DBs, stuff like this won't fly. Right? And McClain's obviously a disciplined DB, ton of top DBs in the country. So he comes off the ball, he does a little hitch, a little jab inside, but the fact of the matter was that was just a little bit too slow on the movement. So let's talk about it. So when we come off here and we're doing this hitch and go, I'm cool with them doing this speed release to the outside, but when he drops, you see how he kind of just jumps into this and kind of slows his tempo down? That doesn't do anything but make this DB's job easier. Because we posted a video a little while back of talking about how wide receivers don't want to like slow down going into breaks, or they don't want to chop their feet, right? So like, let's say, for example, you're running like a dig route and it's like 10 yards. And let's say there's like a safety over the top. You don't want to run up and then start chopping your feet or slowing down and then making the break, because that just allows the free safety more time to drive. And everybody was like, oh, well, what's if it's a double move? You could slow down, you could chop your feet. Well, watch what happens on this. This wide receiver comes off, he starts to slow down, and then he gets into the break, right? Now, when we start to slow down, what's the DB going to do? He's going to start to slow down. But it's not like an abrupt slow down. It's not like an abrupt change of direction. And that's what gets us separation. Because when you slow down, DB slows down. Wide receivers slow down to make the break easier. But guess what? When we slow down, DB slows down. And when a DB's slowed, his break is a lot easier as well. It's not as hard for him to come out of that route. It's got to be a violent change of direction. So what he should have done here to maybe force this reaction, because at the end of the day, we know where we're going. We know that it's a hitch and go. So DB doesn't. So when we go up into this break, he should have been running full speed, put that head down and let that hip drop that he has here slow him down. Because that quick, abrupt hip drop after you're selling fade, after you're running full speed, that forces the DB to immediately put the brakes on. And it's harder to get out of a break like that. It's harder to recover when you had to stop on a dime. We have the advantage automatically as a receiver because I know the route I'm running. But when I slow down, DB slows down, and then when I come off this break, DB is all over that thing, especially if the DB is faster than us, a better athlete than us, and he's disciplined. You have to make sure that we are pushing vertical, and anytime it's a double move, anytime it's just a single move, your hips and the cut is what changes direction, not a change in your speed. Let's play this thing again, full speed. Again, right idea here with the hitch and go, but we just can't slow down into the break. That will make the route incredibly slow and give that DB plenty of time to recover and squeeze us us all the way to that sideline. All right, fellas, I really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. Always appreciate the feedback. It's always great to hear from you guys as usual. And again, fellas, if you'd like a full 2-month-long wide receiver gym and on-field training schedule, check out that very first link in the description below. I'll see you guys next time.